Hey y'all, grown black folks talk. Again, not out on the climb. I was out today, but was very busy. Did not have time to stop. Made a big loop, making some strides forward in my business and investment life. Took me to a part of the city I'm normally not in, and it's a bit of a loop getting there and back. Didn't have time to stop and do a video, but I did want to touch this issue. There are some things that have happened in the past several weeks that I'm not going to put a lot of time in. For example, I wish Jonathan Majors and Megan Good all the best in their marriage. I hope that Megan Good benefits as much as Jonathan Majors has benefited from having her working behind the scenes for what was about 2 solid years to help him restart his career after his conviction for misdemeanor assault. I did watch the interview in which he was talking about how much he loves her. I hope he remembers that for the rest of his life, because when he went out and had a little trouble across the color line, came back, married a black woman, and his life got back together. Just notable, but not going to pick it apart. Doesn't matter enough. It doesn't. But what does matter, and what I can speak on, and I've kind of waited on this as well, is what Kanye West and Umar Johnson have in common. Daughters who repudiate their entire existence as the narcissist they are. See, Umar Johnson recently said to someone who wanted to work with, I can't partner with you. You're not on my level. Like Kanye West is on my level. I sat there and I thought about that. Okay, what do those two men have in common? One is a billionaire. The other one may have put $2 million through his hands to have 2 abandoned buildings somewhere. Kanye West at least has things to show for him being who he is. But Umar Johnson doesn't. But here's what they have in common. The Lord did to them the worst thing that could happen to a narcissistic black man who only sees women as vehicles for his personal aggrandizement and promotion to deification. 2 strong daughters, or at least a strong daughter who inherited the talent instead of a son, and some older women involved who ain't coming back to these men. I'll start with Kanye West, whose daughter Northwest has inherited some of his talent. But here's the issue. Her favorite rapper is Playboi Carti. That's gotta hurt. I'm sure it does. My father would love to know that he's my favorite Bible teacher. It's just, I'm 44. Obviously, I do listen to other people. But because of the respect level. See, Sammy Lee Matthews, my father, is an honorable man who married an honorable black woman into a very honorable family and had honorable daughters, so that everywhere we go, we show up the legacy of Sammy Lee Matthews as a positive and wonderful thing. I am probably the daughter most like him in some ways, and my sister has more of the travel and adventure part of him. I'm more of the stay home, do the same thing for X number of years, because that's what it takes for things to be the way they're supposed to be. And she's the one that goes out and conquers the world. It just is what it is. So we reflect our mother and grandmother, but we also reflect him. And we make all of them look good. I'm never going to get up in camera and talk about what my daddy didn't do, because he did the darn thing. So, but Kanye West is out here, he called Northwest's mother his perfect bitch. And in the context of the world in which they were living in, people may or may not take that as a compliment or a put down. But see, we also know that he also wrote before that, when black men get on and then they get on with a white girl. Well, she was his white girl. Well, here's what happens. Tiger Woods could have told him this. You're going to start acting crazy. White girl is still white girl. Kim Kardashian has more cachet than Kanye West does in the world. She managed to get in that divorce settlement, allegedly. She controls the likeness of all of his children to the day they're 18. So if Playboi Carti decided he wanted to have very talented Miss Northwest on his album, she said yes. Guess who he didn't do his next album with? Why is Kanye West mad at Kendrick Lamar? Because Playboi Carti used to work with Kanye West. Playboi Carti passed on working on Kanye West's next album and worked with Kendrick Lamar, and is using Miss Northwest for one of his upcoming projects. And Kim said yes, and does not need to check in with Kanye to do that. In the same way that Umar Johnson would love to drag his daughter Anissa's mother back into the situation, and Anissa's mother's like, I got rid of you years ago, got another man who raised my daughter and did a fantastic job. Ain't nobody thinking about you. I don't even need to respond. Anissa is a very articulate, beautiful young 22-year-old who has no problem getting online talking about, my mom's not going to come to see you. You should be in jail for what you did to her. You beat on her. Got in contact with her sister and the mother of that other child, talking about, and those two women have now had a chance to sit down and compare notes. Anissa is getting paid now, just like her father wants to speak and get paid. Now Anissa is getting paid to come tell the story about him and how he was not there, and perhaps inadvertently leaving material so that black men who have been investigating Umar for a minute, and that's a different video, but I might stick it in at the end of this one, are able to put together times and dates and find out, oh, these things really did happen, because you have supervised visitation not once but twice. And if you are on supervised visitation, there's only really one way that can happen in most states. In most states, if you're on supervised visitation, you have been judged as an actual bona fide physical threat to either the mother or the children. Twice, not once, twice, two different situations. So now people are out here comparing notes, because what happened was Umar Johnson cannot produce a son to save his life. He has daughters, and the most articulate and beautiful of those daughters is able to match him in dramatic behavior, and is entertaining and funny, and is out there using that because he decided to act a fool with her and attack her and her mom online, is out there getting paid to spill the beans about how this person who's supposed to save our black children failed his own daughters. But then Umar Johnson predicted that one of his daughters might just expose him. He actually has it on the video. So it happened. He predicted that it would. Because see, these men want to have sons so they can talk about how their sons have affirmed their godhood and therefore their immortality, because now they're going to pass it down to their sons. And so the true and living God said, oh, you want my seed? And you ain't even got much sense of Satan to know how to work that out. Let me give you some daughters. Let me give you their talent. Let me get it so that their mamas do not pay the least bit of attention to your ranting and raving online and do whatever they darn well want to do. That's what Kanye and Umar have in common. You know, there's a very high-ranking billionaire in the United States whose daughter is out there talking about him however she wants to do it. And with all the power that he newfound has, he can't do anything about it. Because what God has done to him is what? Given him what he does not want. He wants a son so he can pretend he's immortal, because, you know, God has a son. He wants a son so he can pretend that he's immortal, but it is his daughter who may have been his son, allegedly, and went trans to repudiate his image, if memory serves, about this particular daughter. That's deep right there. That's a whole situation. That's just a higher level. That's not a black billionaire, but I believe he is from South Africa, but not black. He's from Afrikaans lineage. I'll let y'all figure that out on your own time. So there's three men, but at least one of them is on a high enough level that he can take it out on millions of people, like, you know, messing up their Social Security and all the rest. But it's the same thing. It's, I want to play God, and what happens is, by either natural or man-made means, now I have a daughter who's in my face and letting it be known I ain't nothing but a man and I can't do nothing about it. And if I can't control a woman, because, you know, that whole mindset is men are supposed to have complete control of the women. We are just chattel. We are just useful to them, and if not, to be disposed of in various ways. I can't control my daughter. Even the Bible says if you don't have control of your own household, you cannot be an elder in the church. You can't be a leader in nothing. Well, where does that leave Umar and Kanye? Like I said, Samuel Lee Matthews does not have these problems because he did things the way you're supposed to. He was an honorable man who married an honorable woman and raised honorable daughters. If you choose to do things backwards, and see, ladies, as I close, look at people's social media and look what they back up. If these are people that back up misogynoir, these are people who back up content creators that hate black women, just understand you're going to have to go through a lot to get the independence that the mothers of Umar and Kanye's children have. You're going to have to go through a whole lot to get there. Just don't do it. Let them find out another way, not by your children having to suffer, that they just aging middle-aged men who also must die and be humiliated as they go. Y'all have a good day now. Thank you for listening.